Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our monthly Global College Spotlight. In each session, universities from around the world will introduce us to their English taught bachelor's and master's programs and share with us what it takes to become a student at their university. Our guest today is the Stockholm School of Economics in Sweden. It is a private business school located in the central part of Stockholm. The university is recognized as one of Europe's leading business schools and offers bachelor, master, and postgraduate programs and an MBA program. Today's webinar is organized by Global College Advisors, and you will hear more about GCA in just a moment. Before we will start with the presentation, I just want to mention a few housekeeping items. For anyone who has questions, please know we will have a Q&A session after the presentation. And secondly, the webinar is being recorded and we will post the video on our YouTube channel later on. So please check the Global College Advisors YouTube channel if you would like to rewatch some of the information that will get shared today. With that, let's move into some introductions. For those of you who don't know me yet, I am Cornelia Betschart-Fortes, the founder of Global College Advisors, also GCA in short. We connect students with universities all over the world, including the United States. Global College Advisors provides personalized college consulting and helps students explore both the US and international options to find the best academic and financial fit. From college research to application strategy, we are here to support students every step of the way. So today we are all here to learn more about the Stockholm School of Economics, one of the leading business schools in Europe, as I mentioned earlier. The university is known for programs that are developed in close collaboration with both the research and the business communities, which provide students with great career opportunities later on. And with that, I would like to introduce our speaker this morning, Camilla Bertilsson. She is the admissions manager for the bachelor programs at Stockholm School of Economics. Camilla has been part of the education office at the Stockholm School of Economics since 2020. And before that, she was in charge and organized student exchanges. So she has a lot of experience with high school students since she was also a senior high school teacher for many years. Welcome, Camilla. I'm so happy that you are joining us this morning, which is actually your evening in Sweden. So I really appreciate your time. So thank you for being here. I will stop sharing my screen and please go ahead and take it away from here, Camilla. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you so much, Cornelia. I will now share my presentation. So, like Cornelia said, it's actually evening in Stockholm at the moment, so it feels a bit strange, both my background, which is cheating a little bit, and also this picture, which is not only, well, it can actually be evening, but this is obviously taking in the summertime. So this is a view of Stockholm from the southern island where I actually live. So my presentation starts a little bit by welcoming you to Stockholm, Sweden. No? Why isn't it working? No. So starting to talk a little bit about Sweden in general. This is a beautiful picture also from the summertime. We love our nature in Sweden. We have a lot of it. We have mountains and forests and oceans. And we like to be in the forest, to pick berries and just wander around. And in the summertime, we like to go for a swim. And that little house you can see is actually a little sauna. So we are not that fond of saunas as the Finns are, but we do like them. So after a sauna, you can just swim in the lake directly from this little nice sauna boat. Sweden is a lot about sustainability, which also shows actually in our programs at school. We like to recycle. We like to think about the future generations to come. Quality of living in Sweden is important. We for sure work hard, but we also think it's important with family time and to have time off. All Swedish people have at least 5 weeks of vacation, for example. Sweden is also big when it comes to gender equality and the LGBTQ plus rights. So many letters now, it's difficult to remember. We are big in innovation and entrepreneurship, and especially when it comes to Stockholm, and especially when it comes to my school. In Sweden, education is for free. So we think it's important for everyone to have affordable, high quality education. And the English proficiency in Sweden is very high. Most people, my generation and younger, everybody speaks Swedish with a little bit of accent, more or less like me, sometimes more, sometimes less. So also a few words about Stockholm, like I mentioned. It's great. It's a big city, I would say. Cosmopolitan is maybe stretching it a little bit. I mean, it depends on what you compare it to. But I do like living here. We have a lot of culture, like you would expect from any big city. I mean, you can go to the theater and concerts and all of that. I like that it's clean and green, and the water is everywhere, as you can see. This is actually downtown, more or less. So the city is built on islands. And like I mentioned before, we are a very innovative city, Europe's most innovative one. And sometimes they call us the Silicon Valley of Europe, or actually sometimes also the unicorn city of Europe, because we have so many startups with the origin in Stockholm, and actually many of them from my school, like a startup and a fintech hub, that is. So here's a picture of the school. Sometimes I get the question about the campus. How big is the campus? Do you offer housing at campus? Well, you're looking at the building that is the campus, more or less. It is a very small school. We have 2,000 students in total. So the campus is more or less one building, and that is what you're looking at the moment. It's a very beautiful building. It was built in the beginning of the 1900s. And then, of course, we grew out of it, so we have added parts. But the oldest part is from 1927, I think. So like Cornelia mentioned, we are a private school, which is pretty unique in Sweden. Almost all our universities are owned by the state. But there is us and a couple of more universities that are actually private. We have an educational mission, which is free. I will touch upon that a little bit later. The Financial Times has ranked us as #1 in the Nordics. Like I mentioned, 2,000 students from 80 countries in total. All programs are, of course, fully taught in English. Otherwise, I don't think we would have any international students, because Swedish is a very tiny language. And we have more than 100 corporate partners. The school was actually founded by the business community in the beginning of the 1900s, because they wanted more professionals to their trade. So ever since they founded it, we have kept these really strong bonds with the corporate world. We have one of the best employability numbers, and as I mentioned before, we are #1 as the startup track record in Europe. Oh. So here are some of our corporate partners. As you can see, some of them are Swedish origin, and some of them are just very international companies. How do you come in touch with these when you are a student? Well, in many ways. They can come as representatives from the companies may come to a lecture to give live examples from their companies. We have a lot of fairs at school, like Women in Finance Day or different kind of ways, fairs where the companies come to school and present their company, and they are eager to recruit because they know that our students are very good. And we also just recently we added an internship course on the program in business and economics, and then some of them. Then you can obviously go and join them for an internship during 16 weeks, and you also get credits for that course. So, student life, what is it like to be a student at SSE? The motto among the students is sharing is caring. And I like this motto because we are a very selective school. It's very competitive, so all the students that are admitted are very good students, very motivated, very ambitious, but it's kind of the competition ends when you start the program. Like somebody said when I asked them about this the other day, they said, well, we're in this together. So you have always someone to study with. If you miss like a lecture or something, it's always someone that will share your notes with them. And maybe you are good at this course and your classmate is better at another one, and then you help each other out. So we see this a lot, and I like that. It's a nice atmosphere. It's a close-knit community at school, and it springs, some of it springs out of the fact that we are a small school, but also I think because all the different cohorts foster each other, because they have been all the students have helped them out when they started, so they want to pass that on to the new ones that start the year after. We have the most active student association in Sweden, actually. It's called SSE. And also another thing very practical about being at a small school, like I showed you that one building that you can also see, no, where there, just behind me, that's the building. In the basement of the building is the premises of the student union. So if you want to come in contact with them, you can just go one flight of stairs down. So that's very handy. They have a ping pong table down there. They have 12 different committees and each have one room. So if you want to talk to somebody from the education committee, they are down there, from the entertainment committee, the education committee, and so on. They are also part in planning and performing the introduction week, which is the first week when you start at school. And throughout your 3 years at SSE, they will organize a lot of things that can be both to do with like your studies, maybe how to study better, and they will organize lunch lecture about this, or they also invite a lot of companies that come and offer a free lunch, and in turn you sit and listen to that company that really want you to come and work with them after you have graduated. And of course, they also organize a lot of fun parties and trips. I know they go to Portugal to surf every year, for example. And here are some examples of the sports that they have active at the moment. And I must mention that in Sweden, at universities, or at high schools for that matter, it's not that common to have school teams like you have in the US. So it's pretty unique for our school to actually have teams. and some of them are pretty good, so they sometimes travel to other countries and compete. I know the cheerleading team went to Italy, I think, to compete the other week, things like that. And being a small school, they always encourage you also to, I mean, let's say that you are a very good badminton player and we don't have a badminton group, then you can just organize that yourself with the help of the sports committee. And if you recruit a few friends, then suddenly we will have a badminton club as well. So that is how it works. The education committee that I mentioned, they are also very, they have their president of the education committee is also part of a lot of steering groups at school. They are part of, for example, the admissions board that I am part of. They do not vote, but they are there and they might share their opinions, and then the board members vote in the end, but they are part of it. And they also are part of other steering groups to be able to influence the education from the students' point of view. And then last but not least, it says Art Initiative and Literary Agenda. And these are two things that I think is very cool and unique with the Stockholm School of Economics. We actually have 2 full-time staff working with the Art Initiative. And I mean, being a business school, you will study so many things that has to do with numbers, facts and numbers. But as part of our mission free, the president and all of us that work at school think that life is not all about numbers. So the school is actually covered in art. We have a lot of modern art everywhere at school. I heard somebody say this once, that actually Stockholm School of Economics is one of the unknown museums of modern art in Stockholm, because we have art on the walls everywhere and sculptures. And at a video screen, for example, in the main atrium where all the students sit and study, there is always a video art from a current artist. And that artist almost always also comes to school and has a lunch talk about the video. So then you can learn more about the artist and the video, and you will also get a free lunch. And a part of the literary agenda, a part of the Art Initiative is something called the Literary Agenda, and that is a huge book club. This is, if you wanna, it's totally voluntary, but then you sign up and you get 7 to 8 books for free. So you get the novels. And then everybody that is part of the Literary Agenda reads the same book during the same month. And then you are put into smaller groups, about 10 in each, and you meet and you discuss the book. Nothing is graded. This is just for fun, kind of to stimulate your imagination and to read something else than the books that you have to read for your exams and everything. And it's also a fun way to meet students because this is open to all staff and faculty and also all students, both the bachelor students, the master students, and PhD students. So in a group, it can be like one professor, somebody like me from the admissions office, a couple of bachelor students, a couple of master students, etc. So I really like that. And the picture is the Student Association when they took part of Stockholm Pride. So this is video that won't start. I might show you the video in the end if I have time left. It's just a little overview of the school. So this is the building I talked about earlier, just from above. So as you can see, it's beautiful, isn't it? So this is the inside that I told you about earlier. So this is not an ordinary day. This is at nighttime. This is a student banquet. So actually in the right part of the picture, you can see the stone walls. That is where you enter. And where the students at the picture are sitting having a nice fancy dinner. At daytime, there are ordinary tables there, and all the students sit there and study. But this night, it's a place for a party. And on this picture, you can also see one of the added buildings to the old building. On the left, you can see that balcony and a little bit more modern looking building. So it's kind of it's almost like a courtyard and a roof added. So that is why it's a very nice space where everybody can sit and study during day and sometimes party during night. This is the assembly hall. So this is underneath the round you see on my picture. So that is why it's a circular shape. So if you will come to us and study the program in business and economics, then this is the only room at school that actually holds the entire cohort, because that is 300 students. And then you will sit in here and listen to professors when they have lectures for the entire cohort. We are still here in the round shape part of the building. So this is the library. So you can sit here and study if you want a little bit more peace and quiet. This is also part of our art initiative. Instead of when a classroom needs redecorating, instead of just putting on new white paint on the walls, we ask alumni or companies for donations, and then we hire an artist that can do something with the classroom. So we call them our art classrooms. Sometimes I get the question, like the art classrooms, what classes do you have there? Well, it's just normal classes. You will have maybe a lesson in accounting, but instead of a normal classroom, you will sit in a beautiful classroom like this. And the same here, the thought is to kind of stimulate your creativity and to have something nice to look at. So this is from a student from Uganda in Africa, and the wallpapers are inspired from fabrics from his country. So it looks like fabric, but it is wallpaper actually. This is another nice art classroom. And this is kind of, it's really a classroom. It's called the Lighthouse Room. And it's a circular room, and it seats about, I think, 12 to 15 people, and with a little fireplace in the middle. And I've had meetings with the literary agenda in this room. So also a little bit more peace and quiet, or for group discussions. So the program portfolio, I'm focusing today on the bachelor programs. But like Cornelia mentioned, we offer master programs and PhD programs and also MBA. So the bachelor programs, we have 2 of them. We have 5 master programs. So you can read the names of them here. 2 of them are ranked by Financial Times. We have 3 PhD programs and then 1 MBA executive program. And also I want to stress that we follow the Bologna process in Sweden, which is this EU standard, meaning that the undergraduate program, which we call a bachelor program, is always 3 years. So the first thing to study after high school is 3 years bachelor, and then you can top it up if you want it with a master. So and that's 2 years. So in 5 years, you will get a master degree, equivalent of a graduate degree from the US. And if you still don't think that's enough, you can continue on with the PhD. I also want to mention that it's not necessary. You don't necessarily have to do all 5 years with us. So if you, for some reason, decide to do your bachelor degree or undergraduate degree at another business school, that's fine. You can still apply to one of our master programs. And vice versa. With a bachelor degree from us, you can, of course, continuing to and do a master somewhere else. I want to mention what it says here in text above the picture, the conference center. If you start studying with us at the bachelor program, then you have the option on coming to Sweden 2 weeks before the program starts and join the preparatory math course. We call it the summer math course, and it's about 3 hours a day, Monday to Friday. And it helps you to brushing up on your math and to prepare you for the courses that contains a lot of math, like the data analytics, for example. And we also have a shorter course than you meet, I think, 5 times in total. And it's called Welcome to Swedish course. And it's not misspelled. It's not supposed to be Welcome to Sweden. It's Welcome to Swedish. It's for those of you that would like to learn a little bit of Swedish. So this is also like an introductory course to that. And then from this year, we have a recent newly established center at school, which is called the Center of Wellbeing, Welfare and Happiness. And we also have a brand new professor in happiness. You can see him. Sure, his name is Professor Mikael Dahlén. He's a professor in economics, which he had first, and then from this year he's also professor in happiness. So we invited all newly admitted students to join him at the conference center. You can see it on the picture. It's in Sigtuna, north of Stockholm, by the Lake Mälaren. And Micke, which he is called, in Sweden we are very informal. Almost all professors, they go by their first names. So short for Mikael in Swedish is Micke, so most of us call him Micke. Micke will tell you about this concept. And like I said before, all the students we admit are very ambitious and very driven. But it is also important to think about yourself and your mental health and how to have sane head on your shoulders throughout your 3 years of studies. So that was a great addition to our kind of how to settle into the school and the program and the studies. All these things are offered and they are for free, of course. So I'm going to look a little bit closer on our most popular program. It's the bachelor program in business and economics. So the first half of the program, the first 3 semesters, you will have to study all the courses that you can find on the left of the screen. So you will study everything from accounting to economics, to finance, innovation, management, and to strategy. And the idea behind this is to give you a foundation. And also sometimes I know that some students come into the program thinking that they will continue on and specialize in finance, for example. But then after having, for example, these courses in accounting, especially because we have so good teachers at the accounting department. So a lot of students actually opt for specialize in accounting after these first 3 semesters, even though they didn't know they liked it before they started. So I like that. So from semester 4, you start kind of tailor make your own program. So as you can see, you choose one of these 5 specializations. You have to pick at least one. You can pick 2 if you want, but at least one. And this is comparable to the US major. So if you pick 2, it will be like a major and a minor. So the the specialization you choose as a major is the one that you write your thesis in the end as well. Then we have a wide range of courses as electives. So these are shorter courses that you pick yourself. And there you can, like I say, you can tailor make. You can pick like any course that has something to do with finance and really specialize, or you can pick and choose a little bit here and there because you think there's so much out there that is interesting. And we also have the possibility to go on an exchange semester abroad if you want to. We have partnerships with more than 100 universities all around the world, mainly in Europe, but also in North America and Asia. And if you don't want to go on an exchange semester, which I know a lot, some foreign or international students, I would say, sometimes they tell me, Camilla, it was a big thing for me moving to Sweden. I'm staying here for these 3 years, you know. So for those students, we have actually added the internship course that I talked about, because it was also requested by a lot of international students that wanted a way into the work market. So you cannot do both exchange semester and internship because they runs for almost a semester, right? So you have to pick. But if you do the internship course, then you get credits for it. So you are mainly with a company based in Stockholm, but you also write a little report about it, of course. And then you write your thesis. So I think we actually have, yes, here you can see, I'm not going to read through all of these, but just so you can see how many electives we have. And I think this is really a lot, being the small school that we are. But we have a lot of very good teachers that really like their subjects, and they like to create their courses. So there is a lot to choose from. And in the down right corner, you can see "Wanna learn Swedish?" So the first thing I offered that ran just before the program started, "Welcome to Swedish," that is just a little bit of a taste of it. So if you think that you want to continue on really learning Swedish, then you can sign up for these courses that run throughout the school year. So first we have the introductory Swedish 1 and 2, so they are a little more of a base. And then if you want to continue, you can actually do business Swedish and spoken professional Swedish. And the 2 latter ones, they are also worth credits. So I just wanted to mention also in the upper right corner, you can see also the art initiative coming through a little bit in electives that you can choose. For example, the last one, luxury goods and art in the market. That is a very popular course run by one of the directors from the art initiative. So that one always fill up very quickly. And the exchange semester, I want to show you, and like I said, we have more than 100 partners around the world, so this is just maybe half of them. But as you can see in Europe on the left, many of the schools that I'm sure you've heard about before, Bocconi in Italy, for example, ESADE in Barcelona. We have London School of Economics. We have Sciences Po in Paris, Trinity in Dublin, etc. And then in the US, we have exchange agreements with Brown, with Emory, with University of Michigan, with Wharton School of Business in Pennsylvania, and as you can see, a few in Canada and one in Mexico as well. And in Asia, I have to move our photos so I can read. In Asia, we have, of course, some partners in Hong Kong, Singapore, and also in China and Thailand. And we have one partner in New Zealand, one in Australia. So that is pretty difficult spots to get, I must admit. You must have very good grades to be picked for those. I also want to mention our niche program in retail management. So this is a smaller program. The big program in business and economics, we admit 300 students every year. And this smaller program, we admit 60 students every year. And whilst you can tailor-make your own program in business and economics after the first 3 mandatory semesters, this program in retail management is more or less tailor-made for you from the beginning. So this is if you know that you're interested in this industry and maybe your main focus is marketing, for example, you study a lot of marketing, supply chain, those kind of things, and you work very closely together with companies that are within the retail industry. Some courses, of course, overlap as the business and economics program. As you can see, the first semesters, you also study accounting and economics, etc. But as an example, as you saw, you studied 2 courses in accounting in the program in business and economics, whilst you only have a shorter one here in the program in retail management. Throughout the 3 years when you study this program, you have something called the applied retail track, and you work closely with these retail companies. You have 1 company each year. These retail clubs, you also have the retail clubs, and you have workshops, you have company visits, you work very closely with representatives from these companies. And it's not like they will come and say, well, if we would have a problem like this, they will actually come with real problems. Like, we would like to attract maybe this kind of audience. How do you think we can do that? So that's really fun. And of course, a lot of the students end up getting job offers from these companies. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, education in Sweden is for free. Since we are a member of the European Union, we have to extend this offer to the EU members. So then the tuition is free of charge. If you are a citizen from a country outside the European Union, then the bachelor programs are 120,000 Swedish crowns per year. Nobody knows our currency. It used to be that you could just remove a 0, but at the moment our currency is very weak. So in your favor, it's only about 11,000 US dollars currently. And the master programs are a little bit more expensive, but then again, they are only 2 years. We offer a few scholarships to cover 50% of the tuition fee if you're a tuition fee payer. We get a lot of questions about housing. Unlike some other European countries, I'm not going to mention it, but you know, it can be very tough in some European countries and cities to find student housing. This is actually not the case in Stockholm anymore. I mean, it is a big city, so historically it has been a bit tough. But recent years, a few companies have invested and built housing just for, especially for young people and students. So if you come to Stockholm just to work, then it's still pretty tough to find somewhere to live. But you are going to be a student, so you are lucky. So we have partnered up with a housing company in Spånga, and that is a little bit northwest of Stockholm City. Like Cornelia mentioned before, and I don't think I actually mentioned this, but I would like to repeat it. Stockholm School of Economics is in the city center of Stockholm. So it's very, very central. You can actually walk from the train station there. So there are no housing like walking distance from school. That would be impossible. But Spånga, it's like in the outskirts of Stockholm. So if you walk from Stockholm School of Economics, the campus, you walk to a commuter train station at a place called Odenplan. You take the commuter train, it's about 10 minutes, and then you walk more 10 minutes, or if it's raining, you take the bus. So door to door, maximum 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes to get to school. And you see a picture from the inside of the studios and also from the outside. All the studios have a little balcony actually, and they are brand new. And the first students moved in here this August. They are 16 square meters. I have no idea how to say that in your measurement. And as you can see, you have a little kitchen, you have your own bed, you have your little bathroom. We don't do the dorms in Sweden. Everybody likes to have their own room and privacy and sleep by themselves. But what is offered actually at this housing company, they have made like bigger kitchens downstairs, like common areas, and you can book them through an app. So if you have a few friends over, if you are maybe 10 friends that want to have dinner together, as you can see, it will be a little bit too crowded in your little studio. So then you can book that kitchen and you can cook together and have more space. And it's the same thing. You have like laundromats, more or less, in the basement, and rooms where you can put your bikes. It's very nice. I've been there. And the monthly rent is about 750 to 800 euros a month. And you can stay for your entire study time if you wanna. And since we are partnering up with them, you can apply and get an agreement in April, May, when you have been admitted. If you still think that this is a little bit out of your budget, then there are cheaper options, and that is something that is called corridor rooms. So then you still have your own room with your own bed and your own bathroom, but it's a shared kitchen with about 10 other students. And then, of course, a lot of private options. And I know that all admitted students usually They create WhatsApp groups and other sort of groups, and usually somebody has an uncle and is subletting his flat and wants two roommates and things like that. Housing has not been a problem, and now it's even easier than ever. And the living costs, as you can see, a lot of students ask about this, about 1,000 to 1,200 euros per month. And the main cost is for accommodation. Many things are heavily discounted for students, like your Metro card or lunches or going to the gym, or everything has a student discount. I wish I had one. So getting to the application requirements. You, of course, need a high school diploma or an IB diploma. But you don't have to graduate before you apply. And I must stress this, that everything I'm going to present now about how to apply, well, everything today more or less have been about my school. But being a private school, we have our own admissions processes and our own admissions requirements, and they differ a lot from the state universities. So mainly, I mean, if you are looking into applying to a state university in Sweden, you have to graduate first. But we do accept students that apply in your last year of high school. So then you apply with your predicted grades. We have the minimum GPA, and that is at least 17 out of 20 in our Swedish GPA system. That is a minimum IB score of 33. I think we have, oh yeah. We have an English requirement. We have a math requirement. Those are the only two subject requirements that we have. And being a very selective school, we also do require the SAT or ACT. So it is required no matter what diploma or curriculum you have. We have the cutoff scores, as you can see here, 1300 for SAT and 28 for ACT. So typically, you need to have a bit higher than the cutoff to have a competitive application. And how much higher? That depends largely on your GPA. So let's say you have, from the American curriculum, if you have A's in all the subjects from all courses from year 10, 11, and 12, then it's okay maybe to have between 13 and 1350. But if you have a little bit below, of course, your application will be more competitive if you have a little bit higher SAT. Our application closes on January 15th, meaning that if you haven't done the SAT already, or if you're not happy with your result and want to retake it, then you should sign up, because last chance to take it to meet our deadlines is the SAT now in December. We also require a resume, a CV, and you just list your educational background, languages you speak, any extracurricular activities, any jobs, summer jobs you might have, etc. I know my colleague put here 1 to 1.5 page. I'm the one reading this. I'm saying 1 page. 1 page is really enough. And then we will also invite you to do an interview in February if you are selected. So we have a little slide here as well with some of the most common curriculums. So the two on the top are the ones I'm going to read here. So the IB, like I mentioned, it's the minimum. So this is just to be eligible. We seldom admit students with an IB score below 38. We are looking for, I would say, preferably 40 and up. especially if you have predicted grades. Same with the US diploma, 3.5, and like it says here, it's a long sentence, calculate the average value of all the subjects of the last 3 years of high school. Do not use the stated GPA on the American transcript. It more or less corresponds to your unweighted CUM GPA, right? But the Swedish Council of Higher Education, they will actually sit there and calculate it by themselves, but usually it corresponds more or less to the unweighted. So this is the minimum, 3.5 and 33. So for the US diploma, we're looking for, we rarely admit American students below 3.8. So we're looking for very, very, very good students. The subject requirements for IB students, you meet them regardless of what course you have. It doesn't matter what math course or English course you have. And for the American diploma, English, you always meet that as well. And the minimum math course to have is pre-calculus. So, of course, if you have calculus, if you take AP math, of course, you meet the math requirement, but it's not necessary for the requirement point of view. So this is the application timeline for 2025 intake. So it's already open, the application, but we do not have rolling admission. So just wait until you have all the documents you need, your predicted grades from your teachers and your test score from SAT. And when you have that, you can apply just as long as it's before January 15th. In February, we conduct the online interviews, and then you get an admissions offer, hopefully in April, and you accept your offer in May. And then you start the program in mid-August. And also important to remember that you kind of have to apply at two places. The first one, universityadmissions.se, it's the central one from Swedish Council of Higher Education. It's a little bit like UCAS in the UK if you're applying to any English schools. And then our own portal is where you submit your test score from the SAT and your resume. And we have a very easy to remember URL. It's how to apply in the end. And you might wonder why it says HHS and not SSE. And it's because HHS is Stockholm School of Economics in Swedish, Handelshögskolan. So we still have that. And you can see more at, you can always send us an email, and we are at Instagram and at YouTube if you want to look us up there. And also, if you want to hear from somebody that actually studies at SSE, you can chat with our international students at hhs.se/unibuddy. So we'll stop sharing.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, Camilla. I love how your school is incorporating art into life at the school. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, I like
that's
that
really
too.
important to have that aspect of art,
Yes.
I think also. So, okay, so on this last slide, you will see the email address to which you can direct all your questions. And the website link that you'll see here will connect you directly with the how to apply page. Let me check real quick if we have some questions. I think we have one. Let me see that one here real quick. Okay, someone is asking, is it true that Sweden only accepts students that already have their final high school degree, making it very difficult to apply in time before the deadline? I think that refers to what you just mentioned, and that question was posted a little earlier before you addressed it, but maybe you want to mention it one more time just to...
Exactly. Yes, I mean, it's yes and no. So if you apply to any of the state universities, they have something called first admissions round and second admissions round. And the first admissions round is the same dates as the ones that we have at my school. So it closes at January 15th. And you cannot apply in that one to the state universities if you haven't graduated already, which means that then you can apply in the second admissions round, which is open in 15th of March to 15th of April. But then many state universities, then they already fill their spots in the first admissions round. Yes, in reality, it is very difficult to apply to a state university if you haven't graduated already. So that is how applying to Stockholm School of Economics differs a lot. So to us, you're more than welcome to apply before you have graduated. And then you will be, this is important though, I didn't mention this before, you will be conditionally admitted in April until we see your final high school diploma or your final IB diploma. So it's important that you still continue studying even though you have been admitted, because you still need to meet our minimum requirements. So not until we see your final diploma, you will get unconditionally admitted.
Perfect. That's great that you mentioned that as well, that people are aware of that. I don't see more questions, but I have a couple for you, actually, a few for you, some follow-up questions, actually. So you mentioned earlier that you offer a crash course about well-being and happiness before the semester starts. How about student support during the year? Can you tell us a little bit more what you have in place for students, for example, with learning differences, but also academic support, for example?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have two guidance counselors that work solemnly with enrolled students at school. We get a lot of questions from students applying, but they are all referred to me and my colleagues at the admissions colleague office. So our guidance counselors, they concentrate on helping our enrolled students. And then we also have a counselor that you can come and see if you want to talk about anything. And then we, of course, you can get extra help if you need it, if you have any sort of learning disability, like extra time on tests or audiobooks or things like that. You can also get help with like a fellow student in your class can take notes if you're not, for some reason, are not able to take notes yourself. So we do offer a lot of support. And I think with this new center, it will be even better because they for sure, that center that is all what it's about. So they also co-organized together with our guidance counselors and our counselor a student health day last week. Where they had a lot of interesting speakers and a day totally focused on your health.
Oh, that's very good to know. So there are definitely lots of things in place to help students.
Yes.
That's for sure. And then I have one more question in terms of the internship course that you mentioned, which is really great because that was one of my questions to find out if you have internships integrated. And obviously it's a choice either to go abroad or the internship course. But for students who opt in for the internship course, I understand that you're helping them, right, to connect them with companies, or is that, do they have to find these?
Yes.
Okay.
No, No, it's actually the other way around. So the students apply to the course, and they present themselves in the application, and then the companies actually pick the students. So there are already companies that work with us in this course.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. And I'm seeing we are already at the hour. So maybe you actually covered so many of my questions. So this is great. It was really informative. So since I don't see any further questions, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us this Sunday morning. Camilla, thank you so much for your time today and for giving us this great introduction to the Stockholm School of Economics on your Sunday evening. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Um,
Thank you for hosting.
yeah, thanks so much for being here with us today. Before I will let you all go, a quick mention that we will continue with our monthly Global College Spotlights in January 2025. So we have a little break here for December. And please stay tuned and check our social media and webpage for more details on how you can continue exploring global education options in 2025. And with that, I'm wishing everyone a wonderful weekend. And Camilla, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Take
Thank
care and
you.
see you for more college conversations in the new year. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.